So today or yesterday, depending on when I decide to edit all this, was International Record Store Day. I look forward to this every year. I love the community that it builds of everybody going out to their local record store and picking up some exclusive merchandise or limited release albums. This year I wasn't as looking forward to it as I had in past years. There weren't as many exclusive albums that I wanted to get out. So this year, I still decided to wake up really early, get down to my local record store, but unfortunately, I was 15 to 20 minutes behind when I really wanted to get there. There was a little bit of a fiasco with the transit. And so the doors opened at 10 o'clock with the record store that I wanted to go to. And by the time I got into it, it was 10:30. And so because of that, by the time I got into the record store, I ended up leaving with
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
Yep, so I walked out with nothing. Lesson learned, get there even more early than I have because each year I think I get there early enough and I prove that I didn't. So that's about it from me. What did you guys think? What album didn't I get that you like the most? Let me know by commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out. Okay, so that joke has been done far too often by far better people. And if I was really going to end it there, the title card would look like this, as opposed to what it actually is. So no, I mean, I was still really pissed off getting there late and not having any of the albums. And I mean, I wasn't as upset as I probably would have been in past years. There were only two albums that I really wanted this time around. The first one being the Emerson, Lake and Palmer Brain Salad Surgery EP. But I mean, I already have a lot of that within some of the best ofs and compilation albums. And the other one that I really wanted, and I'm kind of disappointed that I missed out on, was the Vangelis picture disc for the Blade Runner soundtrack. I love that soundtrack, and I don't have it in my collection, so a little bit disappointed that I didn't get that one. But I mean, those were the only two. It's not like last year or the year before, previous years where you had like an Opeth special edition, or Between the Buried and Me, or Dream Theater, something that I really gravitated to. So not too disappointed. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some of the albums that I've picked up over the past couple of months, since probably Christmas. Sorry that I don't have more about talking about what I picked up for Record Store Day, but them's the breaks. So first up, I've got two used albums, and I still have the sticker on because I'm too lazy to take them off. The first up is Supertramp's Crisis What Crisis, and I'm going to do my traditional move over here so I can show it. Supertramp Crisis What Crisis, one of my favorite albums from Supertramp. It gets overlooked far too often because it was the one that came out right after Crime of the Century, but still some fantastic stuff. The other one is very similar. It's Kansas Left Overtures. Most people know this album from the first track of Carry On My Wayward Son, but a lot of the great tracks that Kansas has done is on this, such as the Magna Opus, as well as The Wall. I mean, a lot of people just kind of listen to the first track on this and then write the rest off, but it's got some really good poppy progressive stuff from the 70s. So next up are a couple of soundtracks, and I love soundtracks, and I mean, I've already done a few reviews for soundtracks, and I have another soundtrack coming up this week that I'm going to be posting that I'm really excited about talking about. But the one is one of the soundtracks that I've actually reviewed, La La Land. I love the musical, I love the movie. I can't wait for this guy to be released on Tuesday in Blu-ray, which I am 100% picking up. I'm running out to Best Buy and picking that up. But La La Land, the soundtrack, has been one of my favorite soundtracks to come out in recent years. Just the amount of passion and the composition of these tracks are just fantastic, and I love how a lot of the themes revisit themselves within a lot of the tracks as well. The next one is a purely instrumental soundtrack, and that is the soundtrack to... Yes, I love Interstellar, the movie. I'm still kind of touch and go with it, but the soundtrack, the deep resonating sounds on this album just permeate my soul. The deep organs with the high strings create such a beautiful amount of music. I mean, this guy is up there with the soundtrack of, say, like 2001: A Space Odyssey, just with combining the score perfectly with the amount of visuals that are on here. So next up, I actually found this used, but it is Sid Arthur's Sound Mirror. These guys, I've reviewed their latest albums. I actually reviewed this album way back when it first was released. Sid Arthur is a band that I'm not too warm of. I appreciate more of what they're doing for music than their actual music themselves. But I do enjoy this album, and I love the second side, where it's got Chariots and Singularity. Beautiful, beautiful compositions of music in here. Kind of an indie prog, kind of coming out of the Canterbury scene in that respects. But yeah, I know a lot of people just gush over these guys. I'm not a huge fan, but enough that when I saw the album, I had to pick it up. So love this, and I love kind of the folky aspect to it as well. So next up is an unofficial release, and it is kind of a colored disc as well. It is System of a Down's Mesmerize. I was kind of hoping to get this guy as well as Hypnotize. I didn't quite have enough in my budget when I picked this up, and I kind of like Mesmerize a little bit more than Hypnotize. So my plan was, actually today, to go out, get the albums that I wanted for Record Store Day as well as Hypnotize, but unfortunately Hypnotize was not at the record store that I was visiting. This is an unofficial release, which means it was probably pressed by a not official corporation. And it's kind of like the same one that I have for the 10,000 Days from Tool. This guy, I'm only starting to get into System of a Down. A lot of my friends really liked them in high school, but I never really got into them. So when I finally did decide to get into them, I just gravitated, and I love this album. And I'm really getting into Hypnotized as well, but Mesmerized is definitely where my heart is in that respects. Next up, we have the new release from Mastodon. I love this album. It's one of their stronger works, probably their best since Crack the Sky. And I've already done a full-length review on this. Like, I understand why it's getting a lot of hate, and a lot of people aren't quite gravitating to it or not liking it as much. But I definitely am loving it, so, you know, you can't please everybody, and I'm glad that it pleases me at least. So, next up, we have Opeth's first album of Orchid. I still have not actually had the chance to listen to this album. I've been crazy busy, and when I picked this up, it was more of a completionist. So I'm really hoping I can set some time aside so I can actually dive into this music. But unfortunately, I haven't had a chance, so I can't really comment on the music. As I said, it is more of a completionist. Now I am only missing one album in vinyl from Opeth, and that is Still Life. Hopefully, at one point, I'll be able to pick that guy up and complete my collection. But until then, I've picked up their first album, and I'm really excited to dive in and listen to it. Finally, rounding this guy off, I have The Similitude of a Dream by the Neal Morse Band. I picked this one up when I saw them, and I think I might have already shown this album before, but it does bear repeating. It was a fantastic effort from the band. One of my favorite albums from last year. Definitely the best Neal Morse Band project, and probably one of the best albums that Neal Morse has put out since Sola Scriptura. And I love the fact that even though it is a double CD disc, this guy is on 3 discs, and each disc, at least each vinyl, really captures the mood for each side, so it's not feeling like a album that's been split up. They really thought about the placement of their songs and orchestrating their songs on a vinyl format, so I was glad that I picked it up in that sense. So that's about it in terms of the record haul for the, we'll call it the winter spring. That's about it from me. What did you guys think? What was your favorite album that I presented today? Let me know by commenting below. And also, if you were able to get out to Record Store Day, let me know how your experience was of that. What albums did you pick up? What albums were you looking forward to? Let me know about those guys down below as well. So really, that is about it this time for Reels. I will be posting my first of a series of probably 6. As I have just reached 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for that. It has blown me away. So to hold up my end of the bargain, you will receive the first of that album talks of like all the albums that are in my collection coming up probably this week. I'll be talking about all the albums in this cubby. Oh, Marine, here we go. This cubby here. Those are mainly my progressive metal stuff. Get ready for that. So that's about it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. You guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.